Hey dolls and friends, welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michon and I do weekly DIYs and hauls. If you're not new, hey doll, hey. So in today's video, I have some really pretty fall DIYs for you. I really love how this set all turned out. The color theme of this video is your traditional just red and orange colors. They're all deep dark colors. I really love how this set turned out and I really hope you do too. And if you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up as it definitely helps on my channel. If you're new, love what you see and also love all things home decor DIY on a budget, I would love if you would consider subscribing and hitting the bell right next to it so you're notified every time that I upload. Alright dolls, let's go ahead and jump right in. First up, I am making the set of Rustic Pumpkins. So from Dollar Tree, I have these spaced cut things. They look like they can be bookends, but they're just like table decor. The first thing I did is remove the tag by using my heat gun and then pulling that up and then sanding it down so I can get the stickiness off of it and I can get a nice smooth surface. Then I'm going to take my linen white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum and I'm going to give each of these round pieces 2 coat paints of this white, getting on the top and then also the sides where it is curved also. I do let it dry in between each coat, and then this is what I'm left with. For my first pumpkin, I'm actually going to take this scrapbooking paper that I got from Hobby Lobby last year. I just have a lot left over, and I'm going to apply it using some matte Mod Podge. So I apply it directly onto the pumpkin wood piece now, and then I put more on top of the scrapbooking paper. I'm gonna let that sit aside to dry, and then I'm gonna work on my second pumpkin, and I'm using this assortment of colors: Harvest Orange, Burgundy, and Burnt Umber. So I'm going to do some strips. So I lay down my painter's tape and I'm going to do my orange strip first. And I do 2 coats of that because it's acrylic paint. So it's a little, watery. Then I just remove the tape after it's done. Then I place them again underneath that orange strip and I use my burgundy acrylic paint. I actually dried it with my heat gun. And so when I pulled up the painter's tape, it came up right along with it, but it's okay. I fixed it super easy. It's just straight lines, as straight as I could have got them, but I was looking for a more rustic look anyways, so the imperfections actually worked in my benefit. So once I fixed it with the burgundy and the orange color, I then set that aside to dry. After that dried, I took my burnt umber acrylic paint color and a chippy brush and just started to distress all in the edges and on the inside. Then I also took my finger sander and sanded down all around the pumpkin as well, and then went back and forth with my burnt umber to get that nice rustic, weathered look that I wanted. Set that aside and I'm moving back to my first pumpkin, and now that my scrapbooking paper is dry, I went ahead and cut that down to size. And yes, you can still see the front part of these pieces, but I did cover them with brown craft paper. And then I took my finger sander, sanded down the rest of the paper on the edges so I can be nice and smooth. Wipe that down so I don't have any sanding left over, and then I use my burnt umber and distress the edges as well. This is what both of them look like afterwards. And now I'm going to take these wood stems that I got from Dollar Tree. I got a pack of them and I picked out the ones that look the best on top of these. And I'm just going to hot glue them directly on top of my pumpkins now. And I absolutely love how they turned out. Then I hot glued one pumpkin, the one with the scrapping paper, on front of the striped one just to hide a little bit of those imperfections that I had, and then put more hot glue on the seam to get a better hold. Then I've been using these colored raffia things for all year, for this season for fall, and I absolutely love them. I think they're so versatile and so easy to work with. So I just took a bunch of the natural brown ones and the red one, and then wrapped it up with some brown jute, some dark brown jute, and then cut that down to size, and then trimmed the raffia bows so that way it looked great, or look, so that way it looked nice on the stem. And then after I trimmed those down, I just hot glued them directly on front of the wood stems, and then I just fanned out the raffia too to make it look a little bit better like a bow. And once I was done with that, this is done. I absolutely love this. These were super fun to create. I absolutely love how they look, and it looks so high end. I really, really love them. Next up, I am making a red truck. Yes, y'all, I'm making a red truck. So from Dollar Tree, I have this wood like 3D truck along with these white and orange buffalo check pumpkins and these mini hay bales. So I'm going to take my burgundy acrylic paint from Folk Art and give both sides of my truck faces that color. It just took about one good coat for it. I think maybe I did two, just like touching up. But then instead of painting the entire thing red, I took this white acrylic paint and I'm going to paint the inside of the truck just to give it a cooler 3D effect. And I just wanted it contrasting something a little bit differently. So then I took my brush that had the white paint on it and I just kind of dry brushed along the front of my truck, and then took my burnt umber again and really dry brushed like the wheels and on the sides, like where you think like it would be dirty for like a truck when it drives around, you know, to like drop off pumpkins or whatever, you know what I mean. But I just was looking for that effect, and then took my finger sander and sanded down on some of the edges. And now it's time for me to assemble the little pieces that I do have, and I am going to just hot glue down the mini hay bales directly onto the truck pieces, and then just figure out where I wanted the rest of my pumpkins and an additional mini hay bale. And I just put a little bit of hot glue along everywhere and just put them down. And once that is it, you can add little pine cones if you want. I couldn't find mine at this time, but I just love this. I love the understated piece that it is. You don't have to have any wording on it. I absolutely love this. I think it's so cute. For the next DIY, I'm making this fall checklist. Now, I've seen this on Pinterest, on Instagram, and people on YouTube doing it. So I wanted to take a different approach to mine. So I'm taking this orange pumpkin shape from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to give that 2 coats of my white chalk paint. And then I'm going to use this cork sheet from the Dollar Tree. So I just kind of place it on front of my pumpkin to see where I needed to cut it down. And I just use my ruler and just cut it down to size. And then using my Cricut Maker, I drew on this piece of cardstock. So it's just simple white cardstock. And I used a gel pen, a red gel pen, and just made this using my Cricut Maker. So a lot of times people, use their Cricut to cut things for vinyl, but I found that I'm really enjoying being able to just do these drawing things and do these drawing pieces. I really like it. So I cut that down to size to fit on top of the cork sheet. And then I distressed my pumpkin using that burnt umber and the burgundy. That is the color theme for this video, as you can see. And I just went all around until my eyes were happy. It was kind of looking like the checklist is gonna like burst out to you. I don't know. I really like the distressing and the dry brushing that I did on the pumpkin. So then I try to figure out which berry garland I wanted to use for my stem. I love using things to make my stems textured. So I figured out that I wanted to use the burgundy and the burnt orange berry colors. So then I just trying to figure out if I wanted to wrap it around or how I wanted to do the stem. So I placed down my cork sheet first, and then I decided to take off the little berry pieces from the string. And this was perfect for the look that I wanted. I just took those off and then I hot glued them directly on to the stem, and I absolutely love how this is turning out. And it is a lot of hot glue because it's a lot of those berry pieces, but once I had it down to the part like towards the bottom of the stem, I cut down the string pieces and then cut the string pieces on the rest of the berries and then placed those onto the bottom, so that way you didn't see the string pieces and it looked cohesive and it looked complete. My nails were too long at this point, so I had to use like some tweezers to put the rest of the berry pieces on there. So funny, but you guys say that you love my nails, and I really do love experimenting with my nails, but these ones I did not like. They were too long for me, but yeah, I got some new ones. But anyways, the next thing I do is I take these thumbtacks. They're like bright gold, and I also I paint those using my burnt umber, and then I place those down on top of my cardstock so that way it can be placed on there. And I just use a little bit of hot glue if it doesn't stick through, and it is perfect. This one is complete. I absolutely love this. This one was really fun to make, and it is so cute. For our last DIY today, I'm making this super easy pumpkin planner. I've seen so many people do this and I've never done it, so I thought I'd try. So I'm going to get those crazy ugly orange pumpkins, foam pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. I remove the tag and the stem, and then I actually give this 3 coat paints of this white linen chalk paint. I know some people have different methods on what they do. Put a skewer in it, use a foam brush. You do what works for you, what you have, and this is what I had and how I did it. So this is what it looks like after it is completely dry. And then I am going to take my burnt umber again and just give my pumpkin some dry brushing and some distressing lines in the creases. I actually go back and I use my burgundy as well, but it just wasn't doing it for me, so I had to go back and fix it. You'll see that it looks really crazy, but I had to go back and fix it and put more of the burnt umber and then more white over it to get the desired like dirty pumpkin look that I wanted. Then I took these picks from the Dollar Tree and I just cut those down off of the stem and then start placing them in the top of my pumpkin. And then I also have these other florals that I absolutely love from the Dollar Tree, and they're called Bittersweet. I think they are so pretty. I love how dainty they are, but they give that added extra touch that you need for like texture and dimension for your floral arrangement. So I put those in around as well around the other florals that have the pumpkins in them and the big leaves. And this is where I'm talking about I had to go back with some white paint and some burnt umber to fix my pumpkin look. And that's it for this one. Super cute. I really love how this turned out. It got crazy for a second, but it turned out so great. Alright dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. I also want to say I really appreciate y'all so much for all the views, comments, and the love that you send over to me. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my other channel if you're not, if you're looking for more content with my 2 little boys, Journey with Amber. Alright dolls, be blessed, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! I have an audience every time I do my intro. What are you doing, Isaiah? Huh? What are you doing? Every single time. Okay, okay, let you have it.
Duck.
Huh?
Duck.
Baby shark? And there he goes. Bye.
Bye.
Just trying to turn the camera off.